Hey, Lauren Hughes here with Integrity Home Group and Keller Williams Preferred. Let's talk inspections and how an inspection can botch a deal and why it does matter. So I'm speaking from my own experience with last year in 2020, January 2020. I went to move or offload one of my investment properties in Georgia. I am not licensed in Georgia, so I do work with realtors in that state. I'm licensed in Colorado. But in other states and other countries, I do work with real estate agents. Well, last year I was trying to offload one of my properties, which is now a fabulous rental. But at the time I was trying to move it on to buy something in Colorado. But early in 2020, we ended up getting an offer on the home, and well, it was in the inspection time, and so there was an inspection contingency, and the buyers paid for an inspection. And I like to be present during inspections just to help them in case something is weird or they can't figure out something. And in this house, we had it was a smart house, and so it was on like a Nest thermostat and a lot of Nest features. Some of the lighting was on a smart system, so that while some switches worked, some didn't, and it was a smart home. And so I actually wanted to be there to help the inspector in case he got stumbled on something, because it's a smart house and he isn't attached to it like we were on our app. So some things wouldn't quite work the way that he's used to. So anyway, I was told that it was inappropriate for me to be there because I'm the home owner. So I agreed to not be there with the condition that my real estate agent would be there to help the gentleman or help the inspector figure things out in case he got confused, because it was a smart house, so it wasn't a normal home. Well, it turns out, so we get the inspection, we leave with my 2 dogs, 3 cats, 2 kids. We leave the house, and my real estate agent lets the gentleman in, and then she leaves. I don't know why. She didn't tell me she was going to leave, but she left. So we ended up getting this 37-page inspection report, 17 pages. I literally counted, it's not an exaggeration, 17 pages of which were wrong information. And it all came down to the guy didn't know how to turn on a lot of things because it was a smart system. So he said every fan in the house was broken. No, it was just on remotes, and he couldn't figure out some of the lighting. And so he went through each room saying all these things were broken. He also said the 2 furnaces were broken, the attic fans were broken, and when in reality they were just on a Nest system, and it was on eco mode, and he didn't know how to get it off eco mode. And in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have had it on eco mode, but it was on energy conservation, and so some lights didn't come on just to conserve energy. And my realtor was supposed to explain this to him, but he didn't, and so we actually ended up losing this deal. We went under contract. We were under contract for almost 30 days, and because then the buyers asked for an extension, and then it just was a whole mess because they thought they were buying a house with a bunch of broken stuff, and they didn't seem to understand when we tried to explain it to them. But I was explaining it to them through my realtor, who we had to let go for so many different reasons. But it was just too much. It just didn't work out. And the biggest reason was my realtor just dropped the ball. She showed up to the inspection and then left. And then so the home buyers, they're just left. They're just like, what the heck? Like, the furnace doesn't work, the AC doesn't work, the electrical in the house doesn't work, the fans don't work. When in reality, they all worked. They were just on a smart system. And I mean, the furnace was 4 years old, and a lot of the fans were actually just put in within the last 2 years. And we were never able to come back to terms. They wanted over $15,000 worth of additions because of that inspection report, and they were things that weren't actually broken. And so your inspection report does matter, and the biggest moral of that story is make sure you hire a realtor that will do what they say they're going to do. And inspection reports do matter, and mistakes happen, and you want to make sure you're represented to illustrate your side of the story.